and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D's trade, starting from the benchmark index moves to sectoral action and all the stocks that are buzzing the most in trade as well. We'll be discussing also any opportunities that exist for you in terms of stock-specific action that you can tap on. Also amid the earnings season, which are the stocks that you should keep on your radar? We will discuss all of this and much more about the markets with our guest today. But first up, a quick check on how the markets are doing at this point in time. Well, it's been a strong start to the week with the markets, both the Nifty and the Sensex, inching higher by almost 0.6% odd in the second half of trading session. We have maintained this lead right from the morning trade, 18,411 currently for the Nifty. That's up by 100 odd points. Talk about the Sensex, that's up by 62,000. It's up at 62,400. There's a jump of 370 odd points right there. Look at the broader markets as well. It's actually a broad-based rally that you're looking at into the market. So the mid and the small caps are supporting the move on the benchmark indices as well. The Nifty Mid Cap 100 Index and the Nifty Small Cap 100 Index, both of them are higher. In fact, they're doing much better than the benchmark indices as well. At the day's high level, the Nifty Mid Cap 50 Index up by 1% odd as well. When you also look at the Small Cap 100 Index, that's up by 0.7% again at the day's high level too. Now, apart from this, when we talk about the sectoral move, apart from slight losses that you're witnessing on the pharma index, rest of the sectoral indices are actually moving higher in trade. We have seen that the FMCG stocks are looking brighter, 1.2% up in trade. Realty stocks definitely 4% up, with stocks like DLF really firing away. Also, when you talk about some of the other majors like the IT pack, that's moving strongly as well, 0.9% up. Similarly, auto space, banking space, all of them moving, in a bright fashion and steady way as well in today's trading action as well. Now, when we talk about the Nifty gainers in today's session, you will spot a lot of stocks from the auto basket like Tata Motors, Hero MotoCorp. These are the stocks that are up by almost 3.5% in trade. Apart from that, you also have some of the IT names. Tech Mahindra, for example, is up by almost 2%. ITC up by 2% as well. From the FMCG basket, HUL pulling up index as well. And also from the metals pack, Hindalco has come back into action today. Infosys from the IT pack is also leading the rally. Dr. Reddy's and L&T, some of the other gainers as far as we speak right now. On the losing side, however, you do see the Adani group of stocks that are trading down, of course, carrying with the weight from last week as well. The MSCI changes that took place, that has been keeping a lid on the movement on the Adani group stocks. Apart from that, Cipla down after the earnings. BPCL also seeing a cut of 1.4% odd. But time to welcome our guest on the show. Amit Harchekar joins in. He's the director at Index Genius Investment Advisors. Welcome, Amit, and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. Well, the markets are looking brighter. Your own thoughts on how is the technical setup and the trade setup really looking like for markets? Are we all set to see all-time high levels and record levels getting retested pretty soon on the markets?
Good afternoon, Sakshi. I think market today has triggered an important breakout today, especially in Sensex terms. We were watching out for the levels of around 62,150, which turned out to be a resistance of an expanding triangle. And since market has, I think today since we are closing about 62,150, my sense is you can expect next leg of rally from here on. From current levels, we are expecting further up move of at least 6%. So in Nifty terms, we are now expecting a target of around 19,100, 19,200 in a time frame of almost for 14 to 15 trading sessions. But overall, I think today, since market has cleared important resistance with a good conviction and that too with good market breadth, I think now every decline should be used as a buying option.
All right. What are you recommending investors to do at this point in time? The market's looking brighter. What is the best strategy to adopt right now? Should one stick with the indices that have been looking brighter, or should one go in as far as the stock-specific moves are concerned? How should one strategize their moves?
Well, we were focusing more into stocks which had low walls or low standard deviation. In fact, if you see the current performance of an index called as Nifty Alpha Low Volatility 30, basically this index concentrated on the stocks which had a low deviation. This index has managed to post a gains of around 10% in last 1.5 months. and managed to outperform Nifty with a good margin. So we think right now money is moving into a tactical risk of move where more money is getting shifted towards defensives, especially towards FMCG and to some extent auto stocks. And my sense is that is pushing Nifty higher. We are not seeing a great move from super large cap stocks like Reliance, Infosys, TCS. Now money is getting concentrated into low standard deviation stocks like HUL, ITC, even Bajaj Auto, Britannia, Nestle, and I think they would again help Nifty to move higher beyond 19,000 levels. So you need to shift your focus from Nifty 50 to a low standard deviation stocks. Already we have index like uh, Nifty 100 Quality 30 or Nifty Alpha Low Volatility 30, where you can get good amount of stocks which have a low standard deviation in it. So my sense is you need to have a stock specific approach. But if you are expecting a move of around 4 to 5% in Nifty, low standard deviation stocks, we are expecting a gains of around 15 to 20% even from current levels.
Okay, understood that. Let's also focus on a few more stocks that are buzzing in trade as well. I wanted to talk about some of the stocks that will be also coming out with their earnings this week itself. Let's talk about, for example, Zomato as well. That company will be reporting its earnings, a whole host of volatility. We've been looking at the stock, a lot of news flows that have been impacting this space as well, with the coming of ONDC, the kind of worries about disruption in this space as well, and of course the kind of slashing of the targets as far as Invesco Swiggy is concerned. Some of those factors have been impacting the way the stocks have been moving in the recent past, but ahead of its Q4 numbers, there is some momentum that one can look at on Zomato. Your own thoughts on how should one really approach this stock ahead of the earnings? We did see some positive traction last quarter. Will that continue to sustain the momentum on the upside for the stock?
Well, my sense is Zomato is not looking that great. In fact, after this current rally all the way towards 65, you can expect fresh supply coming all the way in the zone of 65 to 70 zone. I'm not expecting this stock to cross 70 at least in the next 3 months. So overall, we have a negative bias on Zomato. If you want to accumulate this stock, probably you should wait for levels around 50 to buy it from a long-term perspective. And we don't see it, this stock going at least in a hurry for beyond 70. Other
Okay.
stock, if you see, I think the better approach would be focusing on FMCG stocks, where we think you have a good momentum. Even at higher levels, you are seeing a good amount of fresh buying. So that I think that would help indices to move higher. As
Right.
per other stock is
Right. So,
concerned,
Amit, what about ITC? Because that stock has done remarkably well in the year 2022, continuing its rally this year as well. In fact, in the past 1 year, if we see, the stock has already given a return of 68, 69 odd percent to investors. It's up by 1.7% even today at 427. Ahead of its earnings, what would you really recommend to investors that despite this kind of a very, very sharp up move, and that's after a long haul of underperformance, do you still believe there is a lot of steam left in ITC?
absolutely. In fact, the index what we had recommended, that is Nifty Alpha Low Volatility 30, the top stock of that index turns out to be the ITC, having a
Okay.
weightage of around 5.5%, and we still feel that index has a room of at least 15.5 to 20% from current levels. So that helps you to project upside target of ITC closer to 500. So I think even at current levels, I think it's a good bet to get in. In past few days, we have seen a short-term correction all the way from 430 to 420. I think one should again use this opportunity to add on more positions for a target of 5.
Okay. What about, another poster boy from another space, and that is SBI from the banking space. Now, we do believe a lot of analysts have been keeping banking stocks on top of their radar with the kind of performance that they have shown. We did see in the last quarter of the last calendar year. PSU banks really rallying very, very sharply, coming in a sweet spot after a long time as well. Now, the earnings for this quarter also for some of them have come out very well. The kind of credit growth that we have seen for PSU banks, that's at a record high as well. The loan growth momentum looks to be sustaining. Also, the NPAs have come down to comfortable levels. What do you think about SBI at 581? Is it still a buy despite the kind of move that we've seen? I believe this stock has already rallied about 28% or so in the last 1 year.
Well, my sense is from here on, you may not see a good outperformance from financials. SBI, if you see, the stock is almost trying to retest its all-time high, which turned out to be around 630. From here on, you can expect the stock to move back towards 600, but beyond 600, I think it would be a big challenge to cross that levels. Overall, from a banking perspective, if we do a bit small analysis on Bank Nifty, the maximum upside in Bank Nifty when we analyze, it comes to around 45,500, 45,600. So we believe there's a high probability there where these indices could peak out. So at the current levels, I would not recommend buying SBI, but in case in next 2 days, if there's a decline towards 560, then definitely one can get in with a stop of 540. The overall target, I think we can see the stock peaking out in the zone of 600 to 620.
Got that as well. Apart from this, which are the other sectors that have come on top of your radar amid this earnings season? Anything that you believe that it is now set to outperform in this fresh leg of rally that we are looking at in the markets right now?
See, recently we have come out with a theme called a Tata theme, where we have taken all Tata stocks, made an index out of it,
Okay.
and uh, if you see the entire performance of the team now, recently that index has triggered a good breakout. So we believe that index is projecting an upside of around 12.5%. So the
Okay.
strategy what we are suggesting to clients is to buy all Tata stocks with equal weighted, and that's why we believe good probability of stocks like Tata Motors going up by another 12%, then Tata Power, even Tata Consumer, we can expect a good of more than 12.5%. So since it's a part of the Tata index, we think that as a theme should work well. And if we are expecting a move of around 4.5% in Nifty, the Tata theme overall should go up by around 13%.
Okay, so Tata Group stocks are set to do well. The index is projecting about 10-12% upside. Tata Motors, for example, is definitely showing about a good upside from the current levels, and equal weightage to all Tata stocks as a strategy that Amit really recommends here as well. But thank you so much, Amit, for being with us on the show and discussing with us all these various opportunities that exist for investors in this current market setup as well. The markets definitely look up, but have definitely come off the day's high point. There is some profit booking that's taking place for sure. 300 points up still remaining on the Sensex. 62,328 currently for the Sensex. It's 0.5% up. Also the Nifty is now slipping below the 18,400 mark. So looks difficult for the markets to sustain above that mark on a closing basis, but we are still about 15-16 minutes away from the closing. Maybe the markets bounce back again after this short bout of profit booking. 0.4% uptick right now as we speak for the Nifty 50. We'll keep an eye on the market momentum, and you can continue to track every tick in the markets by being with us on Business Today TV. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel and also continue to engage with us on our other social media platforms as well. Until then, thanks for tuning in.
Well, it's been a big day for domestic aviation with the NCLT giving its order in terms of what has been decided.